It is 2 a.m. You are lying in bed. You were not going to buy anything tonight. You were just going to check your phone for 5 minutes. And then somehow, you are now the proud future owner of a garlic rocker, a self-stirring mug, and a $47 book about competitive cheese judging. You do not even like cheese. What just happened to you? The answer is not that you are impulsive. It is not that you are bad with money. The answer involves a century of psychology, a quiet war being waged against your brain every time you open a shopping app, and the terrifying fact that your willpower is literally a finite resource that runs out like a phone battery by the end of every single day. And right now, at 2 a.m., your battery is at 3%. Here is something your brain is doing right now that it never told you about. Every single decision you make today, what to eat, what to wear, whether to reply to that email, whether to take the freeway or the side street, costs something. Not money, mental energy, real, measurable, biological fuel. And the more decisions you make, the worse every subsequent decision gets. Psychologist Roy Baumeister called this decision fatigue, and his research in the late 1990s changed everything scientists thought they knew about self-control. In his experiments, people who had made many choices earlier in the day were dramatically more likely to take shortcuts, give up, or make impulsive decisions later. Not because they were lazy, because their brains were rationing what little fuel was left. Think of your self-control as a muscle, a literal, physical muscle. Use it all day and it gets tired. And a tired muscle does not say no to anything. By 2 a.m., you have been saying no all day long. No to the extra coffee. No to the passive-aggressive reply you wanted to send. No to buying that thing at lunch. No, no, no all day long. And every no quietly drained the tank. So when you are lying in your bed and your phone lights up with a sale, a limited time, only 3 left, someone else is looking at this right now sale, your exhausted brain does not fight back. It says, sure, fine, whatever. Add to cart. This is not an accident. The people who designed that experience know exactly what they are doing. Here is where it gets genuinely sinister. The major online retailers, Amazon, Shein, Temu, every app with a cart icon, employ entire teams of behavioral economists and cognitive psychologists whose only job is to figure out how to get your depleted, half-asleep brain to spend money. They are not guessing. They are using decades of peer-reviewed science against you in real time, personalized to your exact psychological profile. Let us talk about some of the weapons they are using. The first one is artificial scarcity. You see it every time a page says, only 2 left in stock, or 73 people are viewing this right now. Psychologist Robert Cialdini, in his landmark 1984 book Influence, identified scarcity as one of the 6 core principles of persuasion. When something seems rare, your brain automatically inflates its value. It does not matter if there are actually warehouses full of whatever you are looking at. The moment you believe it might disappear, your rational brain steps aside and your caveman brain grabs the credit card. Because to your ancient survival brain, scarcity means danger. Missing out meant death for your ancestors. You are wired at the deepest level to act fast when resources are running out. The retailer is just borrowing that ancient alarm system and pointing it at a garlic rocker. The second weapon is anchoring. You were never going to pay $89 for that thing. But what about $89 crossed out in red, replaced by $31? Your brain, instead of asking whether you need the thing at all, now does the math on how much you are saving. Behavioral economist Daniel Kahneman, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics for his work on human irrationality, showed that the human brain is not an absolute calculator. It is a relative one. You do not ask what something is worth. You ask what it is worth compared to whatever number you saw first. That first number, the fake original price, is the anchor. And once your brain latches onto an anchor, almost nothing can shake it loose. So you are not buying a $31 thing. Your brain believes you are getting an $89 thing for $31. That is not shopping. That is a rescue mission. The third weapon is free shipping thresholds. You need $12 worth of stuff. Your cart qualifies for free shipping at $35. You spend 20 minutes finding $23 of things you do not need to avoid paying $4.99 in shipping. You have done this. Almost everyone has done this. It is perfectly rational from a certain angle, and it is completely insane from every other angle. And the retailers know this. They engineered that threshold specifically to trigger it. The fourth weapon, and possibly the most powerful one, is the removal of friction. In the early days of the internet, buying something online required you to find your credit card, type in 16 numbers, a billing address, a shipping address, an expiration date, a security code. That friction was accidental, but it had an important side effect. It gave your brain time to change its mind. Every extra step was a tiny pause, a small moment where your rational brain could whisper, "Do you actually want this?" One-click purchasing, saved payment methods, biometric checkout. All of it was designed to eliminate that pause. Amazon patented one-click ordering in 1999. A patent for removing the time you have to think. Apple Pay lets you authorize a purchase with a glance. Your face is now a credit card, and it is faster to use than reconsidering. Researcher B.J. Fogg at Stanford built an entire behavioral model around this idea. He calls it the Fogg behavior model, and one of its core findings is devastatingly simple. The easier a behavior is to perform, the more likely you are to do it, regardless of how motivated you actually are. Remove the friction, lower the ability threshold, and behavior floods through the gap. The retailers did not just lower the friction, they essentially removed the floor. And all of this is happening at 2 a.m., when your decision-making center, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that does long-term thinking, cost-benefit analysis, and impulse regulation, is running on fumes. Sleep deprivation research makes this even darker. A 2007 study published in the journal Sleep found that even moderate sleep restriction, staying up past your natural sleep window, significantly impairs the prefrontal cortex while leaving the more primitive, reward-seeking parts of the brain fully active. What this means in plain English is, at 2 a.m., your impulse brake is offline, but your desire engine is still running at full speed. You are, neurologically, a completely different financial decision maker at 2 a.m. than you are at 10 in the morning. And here is the part that should make you feel slightly better and significantly more alarmed at the same time. None of this is happening randomly. Your phone knows what time it is. The apps know when you shop. They know that you, specifically, tend to browse at night because they have your entire purchase and browsing history stored in a database somewhere. Retailers use machine learning to identify the window in each individual user's day when they are most likely to convert, then push notifications, deals, and personalized recommendations into that exact window. The 2 a.m. sale notification did not land in your phone by accident. It was aimed at you at that hour because the data said that is when your guard is lowest. You are not shopping at 2 a.m. You are being hunted at 2 a.m. So what do you actually do with any of this? The research points to a few things that genuinely help. Baumeister's own follow-up work found that glucose, meaning actual food, can temporarily restore depleted self-control, which is either a solution or a very convenient excuse to eat crackers at midnight while you shop. Fogg's work suggests that adding your own friction back in helps. Deleting payment info from apps, requiring yourself to wait 24 hours on any purchase over a certain amount, keeping your phone out of the bedroom entirely. Kahneman's research implies that the single most effective question you can ask yourself is not, "Is this a good deal?" but, "Would I buy this if it were full price and there were 100 of them in stock?" because the deal and the scarcity are the tricks. The thing itself is what you are actually buying. But here is the deeper truth. You are not weak for being vulnerable to any of this. You are human. You are an animal that evolved to grab resources when they appeared, to respond to scarcity, to conserve mental energy when your brain is tired. The retailers did not discover a flaw in your character. They discovered a feature of your species. And they built a $1 trillion industry on top of it. So tonight, when you find yourself at 2 a.m. on your phone with 3 things in your cart that you cannot explain, remember this. Your ancestors survived ice ages, predators, and famine by doing exactly what you are doing right now. Acting fast when something scarce and valuable appeared. It is just that this time, the scarce and valuable thing is a self-stirring mug with 847 4-star reviews. And someone somewhere in a glass office building is watching your cursor hover over the buy button and smiling. Now you know what to do. Just put your phone down, sleep well. Same 2 a.m. but different ending.